Why highly intelligent people often feel different. There is a pattern that appears in the lives of many highly intelligent people, and it usually begins long before anyone starts talking about intelligence. It shows up in small, everyday moments that most people would never consider meaningful. A classroom conversation that feels slightly strange, a group discussion that seems predictable, a joke that everyone laughs at, even though it doesn't feel particularly funny. For many highly intelligent people, these moments don't feel confusing. They feel noticeable. Instead of simply participating, they often find themselves observing. They notice tone, timing, reactions, and social cues all at once. They may understand the conversation perfectly well, yet still feel slightly disconnected from it, as if they are watching a scene unfold rather than being fully inside it. This experience doesn't come from thinking they are smarter than others. In fact, many highly intelligent people spend a significant amount of time questioning themselves. They often wonder whether they are overthinking, missing something obvious, or interpreting situations too deeply. Psychologists have studied this pattern for decades. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that individuals with higher intelligence often process information with more complexity. They tend to consider multiple possibilities, analyze subtle cues, and reflect on situations more thoroughly before forming conclusions. While this ability can be incredibly useful, it also changes how everyday life feels. Conversations may seem more layered. Social situations may feel more complex. Even simple decisions can involve deeper thought than necessary. Over time, this creates a quiet sense of being slightly out of sync with the world around them. This feeling doesn't always appear dramatically. It often appears in subtle ways. A highly intelligent person may enjoy spending time with others, yet still feel most comfortable when they have time alone to think. They may participate in conversations, while also mentally analyzing the dynamics of the group. They may laugh at jokes, while also noticing the social reasons behind the laughter. This observer-like perspective is one of the most common experiences reported by highly intelligent individuals. It can lead to deeper understanding of people and situations, while also making it harder to switch off mentally and simply experience the moment. And this is only one piece of a larger pattern. Highly intelligent people often share several psychological traits that shape how they experience the world. Some of these traits can become strengths over time. Others create challenges that are not always obvious from the outside. The first of these traits is something that many people recognize immediately. 1. They think about things more deeply than most people. Highly intelligent people often process thoughts in layers. When they encounter an idea, they rarely stop at the first explanation. Instead, they naturally explore possibilities, consequences, and alternative interpretations. This doesn't always happen intentionally. For many people with high intelligence, deep thinking happens automatically. A simple comment can lead to a chain of thoughts that continues long after the conversation ends. For example, someone might casually mention changing careers. Most people might respond with encouragement or curiosity, then move on. A highly intelligent person might begin thinking about the risks involved, the long-term consequences, how identity is tied to career choices, how society defines success, and how personal values influence decisions. Within minutes, a casual comment becomes a complex mental exploration. This ability to think deeply can lead to creativity, problem-solving, and innovation. Many breakthroughs in science, technology, and art come from individuals who spend long periods reflecting on ideas that others might overlook. At the same time, deep thinking can also create challenges. When thoughts continue to expand, it can become difficult to reach conclusions. Decisions may take longer. Simple situations may become mentally exhausting. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as cognitive complexity. People with higher intelligence often hold multiple perspectives in mind at the same time, which allows them to understand complicated situations more easily. However, this also means that their minds rarely settle for simple answers. This is one reason highly intelligent people are often drawn to meaningful conversations. Topics that involve ideas, human behavior, or long-term questions tend to feel more engaging than surface-level discussions. Over time, this preference shapes how they interact with others and how they choose to spend their time. 2. They often feel out of place in group conversations. Group conversations tend to move quickly. Topics change, jokes appear, and reactions happen almost instantly. Many people enjoy this rhythm because it feels natural and social. Highly intelligent individuals sometimes experience these conversations differently. Because they tend to analyze ideas more deeply, they may need more time to process what is being discussed. By the time they fully form their thoughts, the conversation may have already moved on. This doesn't mean they struggle socially. Many highly intelligent people are excellent communicators. However, they may prefer conversations that allow for deeper exploration rather than rapid exchanges. They often enjoy one-on-one discussions where ideas can develop naturally. These conversations allow them to explore thoughts without feeling rushed. Another factor is that highly intelligent people often notice subtle patterns in conversations. They may recognize when someone is trying to impress others, when someone feels uncomfortable, or when the group dynamic shifts. This awareness can make social interactions more interesting, yet also more mentally demanding. Some highly intelligent individuals describe this experience as feeling like they are observing the conversation from two perspectives at once. They are participating, while also analyzing the dynamics. This mental multitasking can be fascinating, though it can also make social environments feel more tiring than they appear. 3. They are naturally curious about almost everything. Curiosity is one of the most consistent traits associated with high intelligence. Highly intelligent people often feel a strong desire to understand how things work, why people behave in certain ways, and how different ideas connect. This curiosity can appear in everyday situations. A simple question may lead to hours of research. A random observation may spark interest in a completely new subject. Many highly intelligent people enjoy learning across different fields. Rather than focusing on just one area, they might explore psychology, technology, history, science, and philosophy at the same time. This broad curiosity often leads to unexpected connections between ideas. Someone interested in psychology might notice patterns in marketing. Someone interested in technology might become fascinated by human behavior. Over time, this creates a mental network of ideas that continues to expand. Interestingly, research suggests that curiosity itself is closely linked to intelligence. Studies in psychology show that individuals who remain curious tend to engage more deeply with information, which strengthens learning and cognitive ability. This means that curiosity is both a result of intelligence and something that continues to develop it. Highly intelligent people often find joy in learning new things, even when there is no practical reason. They may read about topics that have nothing to do with their work. They may explore ideas simply because they find them interesting. This constant curiosity shapes how they see the world. Everyday situations become opportunities to learn. Conversations become chances to explore ideas. And over time, this curiosity becomes one of the defining characteristics of highly intelligent individuals. But these traits also come with another pattern that many highly intelligent people experience. A pattern that can make life both fascinating and exhausting. Because when curiosity and deep thinking combine, the mind rarely becomes quiet. And this leads to the next psychological trait often found in highly intelligent people. They tend to overthink more than they would like. 4. Overthinking becomes a default mental state. For many highly intelligent people, thinking does not feel like an activity that starts and stops. It behaves more like a constant background process that continues running even when attention is focused elsewhere. A simple moment during the day can quietly expand into something much larger inside the mind. A short conversation might be replayed multiple times, with small details analyzed from different angles. A decision that seemed minor at first can suddenly feel more complex after considering possible outcomes, alternative choices, and long-term consequences. This kind of thinking is not always experienced as stress in the beginning. In many cases, it starts as curiosity. The mind simply explores possibilities because it naturally finds patterns and connections worth examining. Over time, however, this same pattern can become mentally demanding. Situations that others move past quickly may stay active in thought for much longer. Even moments that are socially simple can turn into detailed internal analysis. For example, after a casual interaction, someone might mentally revisit tone of voice, facial expressions, timing of responses, and possible interpretations of what was said. The original moment is already over for everyone else, yet internally it is still being processed in layers. Psychological research suggests that individuals with higher cognitive ability often engage more deeply in reflective thinking. This is linked to stronger pattern recognition and increased sensitivity to detail. While this can improve problem solving and creativity, it also means the mind is less likely to fully switch off. This constant internal processing can create a unique form of mental fatigue. Not the kind that comes from physical effort, but a quieter exhaustion that builds from continuous reflection. Interestingly, many highly intelligent individuals do not immediately recognize this as overthinking. It often feels like normal thinking, simply more thorough. Only over time does it become noticeable that the mind rarely settles into complete stillness. 5. Emotional depth often runs deeper than expected. Another common trait found in highly intelligent people is a more complex emotional experience. Emotions are not necessarily stronger in intensity, but they are often analyzed more deeply and experienced with greater awareness. A single emotional moment may contain multiple layers. Instead of feeling something in isolation, the mind may simultaneously consider the cause, the meaning, and the possible implications of that emotion. For instance, a feeling of sadness may not just remain a sadness. It may trigger reflection on where it comes from, whether it is connected to past experiences, or what it reveals about current life circumstances. Happiness may also be examined in similar ways, sometimes leading to questions about why certain moments feel meaningful, while others do not. This level of emotional awareness can create a rich internal life. Experiences feel more detailed, and personal reflection becomes a natural habit. At the same time, it can also make emotions more difficult to ignore or move past quickly. Instead of fading into the background, they may remain present longer because they are being continuously processed. Psychologists sometimes describe this as heightened emotional granularity, where individuals are able to distinguish between subtle differences in emotional states. Rather than simply feeling good or bad, they may identify very specific variations of those experiences. This ability can improve empathy and self-awareness, allowing highly intelligent people to understand both themselves and others on a deeper level. However, it can also lead to prolonged reflection on emotional experiences that others might release more easily. All of these patterns we explored describe something deeper than intelligence itself. They describe a different way of experiencing reality, where thinking, observing, and interpreting happen at the same time, almost constantly in the background of daily life. But this is only one side of the picture. There are other layers to this psychology that change how these traits affect relationships, decisions, and even the sense of identity over time. That continuation belongs to the next part of this series.